Hello and welcome. My name is Kim with Lotus Within Yoga, and thank you so much for joining me for day 28 of my 30 Days of Yoga Challenge. So, yeah, I'm a little cold still and still a little cranky. If you've been watching my videos, obviously in the dead of winter, it's been snowing a lot. It's been really cold, so I'm trying to get my way through it. I don't know about anybody else, but winter's just not massively my favorite season. So let's build some heat in the body today to get ourselves nice and warm. And if you have blocks, that's a great thing to have nearby. If you don't necessarily need them, but they could assist in some of these postures. And yeah, so let's grab our stuff and we'll get started. All right, we're going to start today's class in downward dog. So coming to stand at the back of your mat, you're going to come down and you can walk your hands out and actually set up the plank first just to kind of get a good grounding base. We're on our toes, we're on our palms. Palms are roughly underneath our shoulders, and we're engaging nice and tight through the core. And once you've found a nice grounding posture here, let's pike up through the hips, coming out into our downward dog. So the idea here is that our spine is nice and straight. You can release out through the neck, maybe shaking your head yes, shaking your head no. You can pedal in through the feet, knowing that the goal in our downward dog is never to have our heels on the floor. You can bend your knees really nice and generous and take that tailbone, point it up to the sky, and then start to straighten a little bit out through those knees. Just breathing here for a moment. The affirmation we'll be working with here today is I speak to myself with love and compassion. Excellent. So on your inhale, I want you to start to ripple the body forward, coming into your plank pose. Taking a breath here, and then bending through the knees and bringing the hips back up. Down.
My apologies, my microphone seemed to quit on me, so we're going to continue going back from plank to down dog in a fluid motion with your own breath. Inhaling as you pull yourself forward, bending through the knees, pressing back, articulating through the spine into your downward facing dog. Inhale, pull yourself forward into your plank, and exhale as you bend the knees, pressing back up into downward facing dog. Go ahead and pull into your plank, lower through the knees, and come down to your belly into a cobra pose. So from here, we're going to take our hands roughly underneath our shoulders, and we're going to zip the legs together, pressing the tops of our feet into the mat. And on our inhales, we're going to peel the heart forward, strengthening through the back. And exhale, coming back down. Now we really want to make sure that we are hugging those elbows into the body as we inhale, rising through the heart. Chest comes forward. Exhale, coming back down to the mat. One more. Let's go. Inhale, rising through the heart. Big breath here. And exhale, coming back through center. Now go ahead and stack your hands so that you can put your forehead on top to rest. We're going to do this with our legs. We're doing leg lifts. So strong, working through the inner thighs and the hamstrings and through the glutes. You're going to zip those legs together. And as you inhale, you're going to rise those feet up, squeezing. And on your exhale, gently lowering them back down. You can even imagine your legs getting longer as you bring them up So inhaling, raising through the legs, stretching out nice and long. And exhale, release, really working through the posterior chain of the body. Let's do another one. We inhale, raising through the legs, squeeze, 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 right through the midline. And exhale, coming back down. Now we're going to put those two movements together to work the whole posterior chain of the body. So bringing your hands back underneath your shoulders. We're going to do one with a cobra like upper body before we go into a full locust. But on your inhale, you're really going to use the back side body of your back and raise your arms as you peel your heart forward, and then also bringing those legs up at the same time, really engaging through the back body. And exhale, release. This time, let's take our hands in back behind us. The palms are going to actually turn to be flat onto the earth as we inhale, strong through the back, raising through the chest. Reach those toes back. Reach, reach, reach. And exhale, coming back down. Okay, that's pretty intense, really helping through that back body. That peeling of the heart is going to help us in another one of our postures that we are going to be doing here. So when you're ready, let's press up into our downward facing dog. Nice and long through the spine, tailbone up to the sky, and maybe walking out through the ankles. So from here, let's raise that right foot up to the sky. And step our foot forward in between the hands, coming and setting up for our high lunge. Making sure that we have a nice strong base. Feet are going to be about hip width distance or wider apart from each other. And when you're ready, pressing up into that strong lunge. The back knee can have a bend in it, as that puts it helps put less pressure on that low back, while being able to keep our hips nice and square. Hands can come to the hips, heart center, or shining up to the sky, as long as our shoulders are rolled back and down the body. Try not to flare out through the ribs. Keep those ribs tucked in roughly over top of your hips. And breathe. And we're going to come up into a warrior 3 from here, which is a balancing pose. So what you're going to want to do is step that back foot up just about a foot or so, and we're going to root strong in through the right leg as we press up and forward into like an airplane type pose. So hands to heart center as we press off onto our standing leg. Left leg comes back in behind us as if we were to stand on that back wall. It's still to be engaged. And keeping those toes pointing down towards the floor. It's really easy for us to want to open up that hip, but those toes are to be pointing down. Knees and toes point down to the mat. And with your shoulders, you're going to kind of feel that same heart opening, peeling up pose through the chest. And balancing on that right leg, slight bend in the knee. It's absolutely fine. And coming down to a standing split, so we're going to take our hands down to the mat and fold over the leg. Left leg goes up as high as you can. Doesn't have to go far. But again, those toes and the knees are still pointing down, not rolling open to the side. On your exhale, go ahead and take your left foot to meet the right as you do a nice forward fold. Maybe holding on to opposite elbow, shaking your head yes or no to release the neck. We're going to come to a half lift from here. So you can take your hands to your shins or your thighs as you come up halfway, extending the crown to the wall and folding over your legs. Plant your hands and you're going to step back and set up for your downward facing dog again. Taking any little movements that might feel nice. And really stretching out, noticing how you feel from one side to the other, and then we'll raise that opposite leg up to the sky. That's your left foot now, stepping forward into your high lunge. So finding that nice wide enough base so that you can feel supported. Level out through the hips, shoulders over the hips. A bend in that back leg is absolutely fine. And breathe. And whatever arm variation serves you, hands to hips, hands to heart center, or maybe reaching to the sky while also keeping the shoulders rolled and back down the body. Okay, let's set up for that balancing warrior 3 on the other side. So you're going to hop that back foot in just a foot and take your hands to heart center. And we're going to really root down through that left leg as we start to raise up through the right. Knee and toes point down towards the mat. Keeping that foot engaged so that you could even imagine pressing it into the wall behind you. And that chest again is coming into a slight heart opener, broad through the collarbones. And breathe. I speak to myself with love and kindness. You got this, just a little bit longer. And on your exhale, you can take your hands down to the mat, coming into that half splits, raising that right leg as high to the sky as you can, but really focusing on folding over that left leg. Full inhales and exhales. One more big breath here. You've got this. Go ahead and step forward into your nice releasing forward fold, holding onto opposite elbow, maybe shaking your head yes or no. You can take your hands down to the mat as you step back into your downward facing dog. Stretch it out. Okay, so take that right leg, send it back up to the sky, bend through the knee, open up through the hip. Your knee is pointing up to the sky. And when you step forward, you're going to step to the outside of your right hand, coming into a lizard lunge. So knee over top of the ankle, hips go nice and heavy, and collarbone stays nice and broad, shoulders rolled back and down the body, maybe rocking back and forth. And then we're going to set up for a pigeon. So walk that ankle over behind the left arm, maybe evening out. Well, you should even out through those hips. Try and keep them as square as you can and level. That block can always assist you. You can either stay upright or you can start to walk forward. I'm not sure what I was ranting and raving about there, but that's okay. Just setting up for that pigeon pose. Taking some good full deep breaths here. And really getting deep into those hips. And creating that lovely heat in the body. Expansive inhales and full exhales. Okay, so if you were down on your elbows, you can slowly start to walk yourself back up. And we're going to come back to meet in that downward dog. So tucking the back toes under, pressing into your hands. I like to stretch that bent leg back up to the sky, just re-extending it, getting that blood flow going again. And back to downward dog, walking out your dog. And then extending that left leg up to the sky, bend the knee, open up through that hip. And step your left foot forward on the outside of that left hand into your lizard lunge. Your knee goes over your ankle and your hips get nice and heavy. Roll those shoulders back and down the body. And we're going to come into that pigeon pose again. So walking that left foot over behind the right hand, squaring off through the hips, and staying upright, or maybe walking yourself forward and taking a few big, deep breaths here. All right, and if you're down on your arms, you can start to press into the mat, bringing yourself up. And what we're going to do is actually come onto our left hip and swing our legs forward and lay down on our spines. We'll set up for a couple little bridge poses. So keeping the knees bent, soles of the feet flat on the ground. Roughly, you can have your legs as close as you would be able to touch them with your fingers. And those feet are about hip width distance apart. So you're going to really root in through the feet and in through your arms, in through your shoulders as you press up through the hips, coming into a bridge pose. Thinking about squeezing in towards the midline, not allowing those knees to fall open. Nice and strong through the back body. And as you exhale, you can slowly start to roll the shoulders and the spine back down. And we'll set up for one more. Really rooting in through the feet, the shoulders, the arms. Engaging through the core, the glutes, the hamstrings, and those quads. Inhaling as you press yourself up to that bridge pose. Nice and strong. You got this. Keep breathing. And on your exhale, slowly start to roll the spine back down. And we'll finish off with a nice little twist. So taking your hips to the right, allow your knees to fall to the left, shoulders grounded on the mat, and breathe. And slowly, we're going to come back through center, one knee at a time. You can take your feet wide, allow the knees to drop in towards each other, hands to your belly, and just take a moment. There's no rush. And we'll set up for the other side. Shift your hips over to the left, knees drop to the right. As we breathe into our twist, shoulders stay nice and grounded. And slowly, we're going to one knee at a time, come up, back through center. And we'll take any last little movements that feel good for us, maybe hugging your knees in towards your chest, or maybe finding yourself in a happy baby. Really allowing the spine to stay nice and long. Pressing into the hips. Last few movements. Please do not skip Shavasana. It is one of the most important parts of our practice, really giving ourselves that time and that permission slip to surrender and find stillness. Allow the body to get nice and heavy as you melt into your mat. You can start to deepen your breath and find movement in the fingers and the toes as you roll out your wrists and your ankles, and maybe taking your arms overhead for a big good morning stretch. As you hug your knees in towards yourself, and softly rolling to one side as you press yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Thank you so much for joining me here for 28 days of yoga. We're almost done, guys. I hope this practice helped warm you up and have you feeling good, because I know it really helped me here too. So, like always, please subscribe, share it with a friend, and I will see you again tomorrow. Thank you so much. Namaste.